Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another week of day trading where last week was pretty fire. We managed to climb up to our account's peak and we were just cruising really nicely. This week, however, was very different. I struggled to find any clean trades and to be honest, it was low-key just a hella quiet week, but we are still maintaining that consistency and discipline, so let's see how well that went. Alright, so starting off the week, price action was just chopped throughout the whole session. Market just kept bouncing between the highs and lows without really committing anywhere, and even the high time was looking really messy too, and this whole price action just looked kind of shit low-key. So going into market open, I was mainly just waiting for a cleaner idea to form because there really isn't just anything convincing early on. Like generally, I couldn't come up with a solid potential move yet. Then market open hit and bro, price absolutely flew. I'm not even joking, we got like a 100-point bounce in like 3 minutes, which is actually insane. This move did take out the London highs though, so I do want to pay attention to the reaction off that draw first before getting too excited, because we did immediately get a pretty clean retest on the 5-minute, but I still wanted to give it a bit more time because the 50-minute could easily wick this high before moving lower. But after that initial push, volume really started dying out, and with the 15-minute forming a shift but not really getting any continuation higher, things just weren't looking too great anymore, and we eventually got a decent sell-off, so I just paper traded it to see how it would react, and I didn't really expect too much from it though since volume was just super dead, which honestly makes sense. It's a no news Monday after all, so usually market just doesn't have that same energy. But yeah, overall I didn't really see anything I loved today if I'm being real, so I just closed the charts there and just called it wraps on a pretty uneventful Monday. Today honestly has to be the biggest troll ever. Coming into the session, we did have a consistent push lower throughout the whole day with price starting to gain some buying momentum currently. To be honest, from how prices look today, I do align more for a sell-off down, but with price providing some potential for a move up, I do want to wait for price to do that first before seeing if the intentions align, or maybe price just continues higher. I have no way of knowing right now, so all I gotta do is just be patient and wait. And coming into market open, we did get a nice dump lower into these imbalances, which turned out to be some pretty clean wicks, and with price starting to build up more volume for the buys, I was getting ready to enter, and I did find my entry pretty quickly after that when price got some clean displacement higher. And this trade immediately started running really nicely. It was low-key a bit slow, but it was still moving up regardless, so it was clean. And all of a sudden we got this fat move lower, but I wasn't worried. Pullbacks like these happen all the time, so I am confident that we bounce back up, and we did start bouncing back up higher. Okay guys, pretty sad loss for today. It was pretty unfortunate that price didn't run as well as I'd hoped. It was still a really clean setup that I'm always 100% happy with taking. It's just variance playing its part, and to me I think that losing in trading at least is quite inevitable. All we can really do is prepare ourselves and handle them as well as we can, and I think today is one of those good losing days. I think I managed everything pretty well. It's just I stuck to the plan and I even managed to trail my stop very nicely, which allowed me to secure a smaller loss today. So it's all in all, it's still a great day. Alrighty boys, so looking at today, we ended up having a pretty strong push down near the end of London session, and we had a pretty strong push through on the 5-minute here. 15-minute ended up being a wick though, so that would have been a pretty good sign for a reversal. Coming into 5-minute, it does look to be, from here would have looked very bearish, but we also had this fatty wick down here, so we could expect some sort of reversal if that were the case. And we did have a strong buying response creating this supporting imbalance here, so that would have been some pretty decent intention for trying to push higher. High time frame, we had the hourly order block here supporting, and we were overall starting to trend a bit more bullish. It was pretty weak though coming into the session and in a strong sell-off, so it would have been a little bit difficult to see this reversal coming on the low time frame, which is a continuation on the higher time frame. But yeah, this overall up move only came a lot later. I think we chopped around for like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then we got a strong push up 12:20. So that's it's way too late for my trading time because I only trade up to like 12. So since that's the case, it was a good thing that I avoided trading today, because the news for today was actually Fed chair nomination vote. So I don't know what usually happens on nomination vote. It's my first ever one, so a good thing I avoided trading for today. Alright, so price action did seem to be a little funny today. We did have a slow move lower throughout the entire day, where we did see a little bounce from sweeping out the Asia low, though price didn't continue higher with much power, and we are currently getting a strong push down lower again, so honestly I am aligning more for a continuation lower if price does continue to confirm that. And the high time frame is also aligned with this, so market structure does seem to be pretty clean. And we did just continue to dump lower until market open, where we got this fat move up, and this move was crazy, bro. Honestly, there's no retrace or anything to help me get into the setup, and it's Like, even if I knew that time liquidities would be swept out to the buy side, if there's no clean entry for me, then I would still prefer avoiding the setup because I don't want to FOMO into anything or do something that I'd regret. And yes, I did end up popping off early here to avoid spending more time when realistically a setup isn't going to be presented to me today. I'd rather just get more rest and come back better the next day. And I honestly think that this is something that's very important, you know, knowing when to pick your days to align with more higher probability days. So it may take longer, but once you stack up enough equity, having setups few and far between wouldn't matter as much, because even your small 1% consistent winner would still be enough to sustain your lifestyle. Alrighty boys, so last day of the weekend, I'm gonna be for real, my internet just kind of died on Friday, so because of that I wasn't able to hop on the trade, but we're gonna do a little reflection on that. So coming into the day, just a humble push down lower. We did have a wick sweep down here. It wasn't the cleanest because we didn't have like a clear block to push up off of, and then the high time was highly bearish as well. We didn't even sweep out this draw down here, and I would say if ES swept out this draw, then it could be more realistic for me to expect that, at least expect this shorter time frame push up, but we didn't get that for either of the pairs. So because of that, it was a little bit harder to see this kind of reversal pulling up. 15-minute had like a clean wick sweep. 5-minute didn't have that many clean imbalances. We just had just a push up, and then we just swept out the London high. So I guess like the wick from here, we could have maybe, if we waited for, let's say this one over here, and then on the 1 minute, what we could do is see a break here, retest, and continue higher. From there, we could probably enter. So maybe if we entered off the break, stops at the wick low. The wick low is here, and then targeting London high. Either London high or 1-to-1. They both would have been clean. Yeah, this could have been a potential trade, but it would have been one that was hella scary. Yeah, this push down into a push up. This push up came way later, 12:20. That would have been like, because normally I would get out here. I would finish my session here. So, I mean, I would have let this thing play out over time. This is a pretty dog price action, I'm not gonna lie. So, I mean, it was still a decent setup. I would say if the intuition was on point, then this trade is realistic. So, yeah, this could have been a pretty clean trade for me to take. Alrighty boys, that's all for this week's trades. Yes, I know it's a really uneventful week, but I think it's all good. These uneventful weeks will help me stack up in the long run with avoiding those unnecessary losses, and it does look like it's not much work going on, but honestly, I think this is the more harder part of trading that people talk about, where there will be periods where you don't find that many setups. It is easy to find setups to justify taking when there's dry periods, and knowing whether those trades are actually realistic or not does take time to build up, especially if you look at like my previous calendars, that you can see that there's a lot more trades but a lot more like losers in there as well. But when you do have like far experience with your model, which does take time to build up, it does get in a sense easier. But yeah, still a pretty calm week. Only setup was a pretty decent loss on Tuesday, which is all good, and I think I would have always taken that setup no matter what. We'll be back next week, just maintaining more of that patience and confidence, and yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, then a like and a sub would really help out. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.